Welcome everybody to another episode of HomeKit Insider. You've got me, Andrew O'Hara, and I already have to apologize for my voice. It has left me. It has moved on to the dog down the road. It warbles, and sometimes I feel like I'm stuck mid-yodel.
What is happening?
It's a whole thing. Just like Amazon's dreams of owning the wearable market, it is gone. So...
Oh, that was a good point. That was good.
I'm gonna just...
What is happening? What happened to
I
your
don't
voice,
know.
man? Are you like,
I don't know.
Are you like gargling with pebbles? Are you going like,
I don't know. You're supposed to scrub your throat, right? Like, clean it out like your disposal with a very
smoke
bristly brush.
Are you on 3 packs a day now? 4?
Yeah, that's what it is. No, I have no idea. It's been like this for 2 days, and it's... Sometimes it gets better, and then it gets real bad.
Oh, my goodness. I feel like it's getting worse just as you did the intro. It was like...
right? Just the talking has already exacerbated it. It's going... This episode's going downhill. We're 30 seconds in. Everyone's already turned it off.
No. There's actually news. There's HomeKit news we have to talk about, Andrew, or at least gargle about, or whatever it is you're doing over there. Oh, man, so sorry. Is it allergies? What are you doing? Is there a HomeKit allergy?
I don't know what it is. It hurts. It is painful, like to swallow. Don't sneeze. That's a real bad thing to do. If you want a life tip, don't sneeze. And it's like hurts on the outside. So like when I'm holding Harrison, and you know how babies do, smacking things, and he just like smacks me in the throat. I'm like, wow, that already was painful, and you just made it worse. Thank you. So that's cool.
Oh, my word. Listen, kids, the babies don't care about how you feel. They don't care.
No! Don't even care.
At all. You know, speaking of air quality, because maybe that's what's going on with you. This I didn't even know, but I wanted to mention, I've been playing around with the Netatmo weather station, and some listeners have been writing in their experiences as well. Rain gauge, pretty spotty connection there. That's not what I wanted to mention. It's like in and out. The CO2 sensor. I forget. You have one of these Netatmo things in your house too, right? You have the indoor one? Yeah. It's been throwing like CO2 warnings at me like every other day. And like I'll get the HomeKit thing that says like your CO2 is high. And it's in my like family room, like our main room. And I don't know what's happening. And then, I'll check it a few hours later and it's fine. So, I don't know. I might be slowly being poisoned. Maybe like you. Maybe that's what's happening to you. You're slowly
Maybe, but I haven't gotten any of those alerts. So, I don't think it's that.
I don't think it's that. Okay. Anyway, I'm curious any Netatmo users have that alert. Oh, and another alert that popped up. I took a screenshot because I wanted to show you. So, we talked about, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, the HomePods now can recognize smoke alarms and CO2 alarms and will send you an alert that something's happening. I actually got one the other day, and it was slightly terrifying because I didn't know what was happening. But I got an alert. Let me see if I can try and find it here real quick so I can show it on video. But it basically said, oh, here it is. It said, alarm sound detected. And so it said it was critical alert, alarm sound detected. Here it is on the video if you're watching on youtube.com/HomeKit Insider. I have a HomePod Mini in a pool bath, kind of like off the living room. And it said that an alarm sound was detected. So I did the check-in. I was here. I was home. So I was just here in the studio. So I checked in from like 4 rooms away. I couldn't hear anything. No one else heard an alarm or anything going off. There's not even a smoke alarm in that pool bath. So I have no idea what that was. I feel like maybe it was a false alarm or maybe somebody like dropped something the wrong way and set it off. But it's definitely concerning because like this is what it looks like on like the lock screen. It says critical, like the little red text and the exclamation point says an alarm.
Critical alerts are an iOS feature that bypasses your do not disturb settings. So they can be used for, obviously in this case, an alarm. For me, as a diabetic, whenever my CGM goes really says I'm going low, it can pop up as a critical alert to let you know, like, do something or you'll die, like that kind of situation. Which I guess is similar to the smoke alarm, like, do something or you'll die.
Yeah, don't stay there. So anyway, I'm curious if anybody else has gotten like a false positive, and by the time I actually went over there in person to check it out, nothing was happening. There was nothing going on. So I don't know what that was, but strange to get that critical alert, but fake. So I don't know. Let us know, listeners, if you've gotten any of those kinds of things. But anyway, let's get to some HomeKit news because we actually got some stuff going on. First up are like smart blinds and such. This is SmartWings. SmartWings has officially launched thread-enabled smart blinds. And so you now have a few choices for smart blinds. You got SmartWings, Eve MotionBlinds, and the Lutron. The SmartWings are in line kind of with the Eve MotionBlinds pricing, or maybe a little less. Lutron is kind of like the high end as far as cost. But they got lots of different styles, and it's thread-enabled, which is really cool. Thread is what we want. But you now have another option there. So SmartWings. There you go. Apple Home. You don't
forget Hunter Douglas in there too for HomeKit shades.
Hunter Douglas, that is right. You don't have any SmartWings, do you? Because this is a new.
I don't. I have the other 3, not SmartWings.
Right. I have one. I have the Eve MotionBlinds, but I love those. I feel like MotionBlinds of all, again, the impressive smart home devices. When you show people like your house, if they see a blind just automatically going up and down, blows people's minds. How you like that rhyme? Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly. Speaking also of blinds, the Eve MotionBlinds Kit is now available to purchase. And so this is like a retrofitting solution to make existing roller blinds smart, adding the motor and, adding the same HomeKit functionality with Eve and everything. So if you wanted to retrofit some blinds, you can do that now too. That's available. And that's US, Europe, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can retrofit some blinds too.
Yeah, I saw that at CES, which is amazing. The fact that you can retrofit existing roller blinds to add HomeKit, I think that's huge. You don't have to replace everything to do it.
Huge.
Other Eve news that's going to pivot into the Amazon news that we've got coming up.
Oh, pivot.
Eve has announced that they are going to, they're seeking the FFS and WWA certifications through Amazon. So if you're not familiar with those, WWA works with Amazon Assistant, and basically certification is going to work out of the box seamlessly, get the extra badge on the box, all those types of things. The FFS one is really interesting. So the FFS is frustration-free setup, and they use helper devices in your home that you already have set up. And you buy this device from Amazon, you take it home, you get it at home, you plug it in, and it uses helper devices that are already on your network to set up your new device automatically for you, and they can be ready to go in a minute.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's really neat, and very curious. I don't know if I'm ever going to want to try how that works just because of my current struggles with Matter, but
Matter struggles.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. That's a very cool idea. So we're going to get to the Amazon Matter stuff. Let's do a quick shortcut thing. I imagine you put this in here, but I know we've talked about the iCloud Keychain app and passwords and all that kind of stuff. This is from Ricky Mondello. He actually works at Apple. He's a developer there working on the security, passkey, all that kind of stuff as part of the iOS operating system. And so all of us that keep bemoaning, hey, you should have a standalone password app, there is a shortcut that you can make where you can put this icon on your home screen and it goes directly to the passwords settings in the settings app on your iPhone. So you can kind of manage it kind of like an app, kind of. I still say I want a standalone app because I think that would just be better, especially if there's adding things like shared vaults and other notes or whatever. But if you want quick access to the iCloud Keychain, and I've been really depending more and more on iCloud Keychain over third parties, you can get this shortcut. Add it right to your home screen.
I know, it is kind of odd how Apple keeps tiptoeing into it. It's we've got a password manager, but it lacks most of the features, which is nice because it gives one password this extra competitive advantage in the robust amount of features that it offers, which is very cool. And I'm glad the third-party one can integrate. But yeah, a lot of times I find myself just sticking with the iCloud just out of sheer laziness, to be honest. Yep, just freaking generate it for me. And now they fixed some of the issues where you can actually edit the suggested passwords that they're providing.
Yes.
Really handy because there's always I don't like that suggested password. And then you're like, and then you gotta like, it was tedious. So they fixed those things for like the iCloud passwords. But you can also now add this directly to your like lock screens as well as a shortcut, I believe. So like that's what like caught my eye. I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet that you can just add this to a lock screen. Because then if you're like on your Mac or you're somewhere else and you need to access the password, you don't even need to like open your phone and dive into things. Like you can literally just launch it right there from your lock screen, which is pretty sweet.
That is cool. I wish a couple things besides what I've already mentioned. Password history. I really need iCloud Keychain to remember past passwords for a login, which is something 1Password does. You can actually look at the history of all the passwords for a particular login item, and I think that would be helpful, especially when you're in that weird place where you need to change a password for a website. And, you know, iCloud Keychain doesn't do as good a job as 1Password. Like if I'm changing a password on a website, 1Password will like throw up suggested new password, and you can click it, and it'll save it to the login item. iCloud Keychain's kind of like, I already have a password for this website, so you don't need another one. And so you actually have to go to like the passwords menu, you know, edit, create a new, and all that. So a little better at suggesting that password and keeping the password history would be helpful. I do want to mention too, this was last week it happened, Google actually enabled passkeys for personal Google accounts. And I actually set it up for my personal Google account. That was pretty sweet. I actually set it up on my Mac. I wasn't really sure how it was going to work. Like, do I have to set it up on each individual device? But I set it up on my Mac, uses Touch ID, and logging into the Google account now is super easy because it just uses biometric authentication. And it seems like the passkey carried over to the iPhone because I went to google.com on my iPhone, tried to go to my account settings to enable a passkey for my iPhone device. But it actually shows up that a passkey has been set up for iCloud Keychain, and you can even look in the passwords part of the settings app that we're talking about, and it will say passkey set up and like the month or date or whatever that has been set up. And so I think it's syncing to iCloud Keychain across all my devices. And so once you set up that passkey once, you're like good to go, and you can use the passkey for that account on any of your Apple devices. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I mean that's really sweet, and now I want passkey on everything because it's it's amazing. I mean, you know, just boom, bioauthenticate and you're in. Bioauthenticate, that sounds weird. I feel like I would like another term for that. Face unlock's already. I don't know. Anyway,
bioauthenticate just sounds like some sort of evil villain security system. Like you got to like lick something. Bioauthenticating, right. And then you're in. I've already got half a robot voice, apparently. So.
I was going to show this. I don't want to like dox myself and show something in my password app that's going to like hack. Someone's going to hack me. I don't want to be hacked. But let me take a screenshot real quick because it shows that the passkey was created yesterday, and so on your device it'll just say, "Hey." Passkey, it'll say when it was created. It says created yesterday. You do have the option to delete the passkey in your settings, but it's just there. And so I did this on my Mac, and it's just syncing over iCloud Keychain to all my Apple devices, and that passkey is just there. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Speaking of Andrew's voice, you know what you might want to do, Andrew? You might want to download the free Zocdoc app on your iPhone, which you can do at Zocdoc.com/HomeKit. And you can find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours, and you can be sure that they take your insurance. How do you like that? I wasn't even reading that. I just know it. That's how much I like Zocdoc, okay? It's amazing. You should do it. You should say, hey, Zocdoc, I sound like I smoke 18 packs of cigarettes a day. What should I do? Give me a doctor for this. But listen, we both use Zocdoc. You heard us talk about Zocdoc before. I love Zocdoc. You download it. It's a free. Did I mention free? It's a free app. Put it on your iPhone. You put in your insurance information so it knows your insurance plan, and it just shows you doctors that already take your insurance. So you don't have to wonder. You book the appointment right there in the app. You click a day, a time. It even does telehealth appointments, so you can do it virtually. They do all kinds of doctors. If you need a general practitioner, you need another like main doctor. I guess that's primary doctor, not main doctor. I don't know. You need a main doc. You need your main guy, okay? You need a main guy or woman or the doctor, okay? So you get your doctor. They also have specialists. You could do like eye doctors, all that kind of stuff, all in the Zocdoc app. Don't wonder about your symptoms. You know, don't wonder like Andrew what's going on with your voice. Don't think maybe I swallowed a bunch of rocks. No, go to the doctor, have it checked out. And Zocdoc can help you do that. You don't have to wait in line. You don't have to stand on the phone. It's wonderful. And I actually just booked a telehealth appointment a couple weeks ago for one of my kids. They were feeling a little sick. Booked the Zocdoc appointment, get the antibiotics prescribed. Didn't even have to go into an office. Did it all right here on the phone. It's a piece of cake. Zocdoc. You should do it. So here's what you do. Zocdoc's the only free app lets you find and book doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun, even Andrew's gravelly voice right now. So go to Zocdoc.com/HKI. I said HomeKit before. Don't do that. Go to Zocdoc.com/HKI. Download the Zocdoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/HKI. Zocdoc.com/HKI. That link is in the show notes. Just click the link in the show notes. Don't worry about typing it in. Just click the link in the show notes. Thanks to Zocdoc.
I like the new tagline. Zocdoc, yeah. You should do it.
You should do it. You should do it. Don't sit there with rocks in your throat. No one likes that. That's not good. All right, Andrew, this is kind of big news now we got to talk about, if you can. This is, sound gravelly, very dramatic. Amazon has now added iOS setup, thread support, and more for some of their Echo devices, meaning it goes in the Home app, I guess? I mean, it's Matter, so you can put it in there. But here's the weird thing. So you explain it to me. So we now have Amazon devices with Matter. Supports Thread. So let's say you have your Echo now, right? It has Matter. You updated it to the latest firmware. You want to control your smart home devices, but your Echo can really still only control other Matter devices. Like it can't control my Maris garage door opener because that's not Matter. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Case closed.
As far as we talked about that, Stephen, before Matter was even here, we talked about that being the limitation. Because there's only, for HomeKit users, until there are additional device categories, which there kind of are, but the biggest thing was if you wanted to use a controller with your smart home devices. So, right. I can't tell what any of these things are called, but Echo Show...
Is the Echo Dot, the Echo Plus, the second generation Echo, and fourth generation Echo is a Thread border router. So you got those devices.
Yes, but I don't even mean like the smart speakers. I mean like a smart display because Apple doesn't have those. Like to use like the Google Nest Hub Max that has a big glorious screen that you can just poke around on and control things. I got our Samsung Smart Fridge, just a quick button to adjust things right there from that. The Echo Show or whatever it's called, Echo Look, whatever the Amazon thing is called, with the screen. But if you wanted to use one of those to control your HomeKit devices, your smart home devices, that's a benefit. So if everything in your HomeKit home was Matter, everything would just show on there, and you could control it all with Siri and your normal HomeKit stuff. But you also have the added benefit of those smart displays that Apple currently doesn't support. But yes, you have to have it'll only control Matter devices. So you have to add everything to Amazon's ecosystem. So you have to turn on the pairing inside of the Home app for everything to the Amazon ecosystem, and then it can control them. So still big news here, and it allows things like Eve to work now just natively with Amazon speakers, which is going to be big for them. This is the iOS setup that we had been waiting for. So Amazon started with Android earlier this year, and then they announced at CES that they were going to be bringing iOS support like halfway through the year. That point is here, so now you can actually set all this stuff up on iOS. And they're bringing Thread support. So before they actually supported Matter, but only over Wi-Fi. So now we're getting Thread support, which is why like the Eve devices didn't work until now, because they're primarily Thread that are using Matter. So it's getting better. We're getting like all the support that was like missing, but things still aren't smooth and seamless. I still don't have answers to my conundrums that were going on last week. Our pal over at The Verge, Jennifer Tui, she had her piece go out over the Nanoleaf lights that she did, and she was like, Matter has problems. And I'm pretty sure her Matter problems were different than my Matter problems. She's like, the lights are great, which I agree, but Matter has problems. So, like,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's complicated. It's complicated. I mean, the promise of matter, I guess it's coming. I feel like, I don't know. You know, Belkin and Wemo said matter is not coming to their devices as far as we know. You know, Lutron...
They just put a pin on it until they can further differentiate their products, which is totally fair and valid points as the accessory maker. If everything is exactly the same, again, we said the stuff like freaking already before matter was here, like, oh, cool. Every platform works exactly the same. Every product has the same slimmed down set of features. Why are there going to be multiple products available? What's the competitive advantage for any ecosystem or for any accessory? And that's what Belkin's trying to find out.
Has Lutron has not said anything about matter either. I do not. I'm looking on Google right now, and I'm seeing just like threads in the forums of like, when is matter coming? But nothing from Lutron. Actually.
But for Lutron, who cares? Lutron already works with basically everybody.
That is true. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, okay. Then I mean, meh, just meh. Okay, well, I don't know. I guess if you want to use an Echo and you got some matter devices, there you go. You can do some stuff. We might be talking about matter next week with somebody. Just teasing that right there. But anyway, we'll put that link in the show notes if you want to read more about it. All right, Hue. This was a very exciting announcement or an update, excuse me. And this was actually courtesy of Jay Kanarek. He told me on Twitter, he's like, hey, the Philips Hue app, they brought the shortcuts back. And I said, yay. So I kept bemoaning, I think actually on the last episode, how there were shortcut actions for the Hue SyncBox back when Sync had a separate app. Then Hue brought it all together into the main Hue app, but for some reason took away the shortcut steps. But now, just in the update that came out last week, as you're listening to this, it now supports, look at this, now supports Siri shortcuts for the Hue SyncBox! Exclamation point. They should have just put for Steven Robles right after this. I know they're listening. I know they did this just for me.
Right, yeah, I'm sure that's what it was. I saw that update come through, and I immediately just jumped into our show notes. Like, Steven is going to wet himself with joy. He's going to be so excited.
I was very happy because now I was able to complete my my watch something shortcut. I'll actually, let me show this on camera real quick. This is my watch something shortcut. And so when I run this shortcut from my little today view, I choose what room I'm in. I'm in the family room, the bedroom, or the living room. The little menu pops up. And when I choose family room, where I have all like the theater and stuff set up, now I wake the family room Apple TV, which turns on the TV and the receiver and everything. I set my HomeKit scene for family room movie, so all the lights dim and everything. And now look, I can add back my step for the Hue SyncBox. So I power on the SyncBox. I have the shortcut wait a few seconds because I want to make sure, just get started up, you know what I mean? And then you can start syncing. That's another step now available in shortcuts. Start syncing the Hue SyncBox, and then it waits a little more, and then it shows the remote on my iPhone to control the family room TV right there. And so now I'm one tap away from my full home theater thing, and the Hue Sync lights are syncing again, all from the shortcut. It's wonderful. I can finally rest, like Thanos. I can finally rest. Now the shortcut's back on my Hue SyncBox. So anyway, if anybody else is excited as I am, let us know. I would like to know, because I was pretty excited about that. All right. Well, one other product announcement here. This is a new thing. This is Remootio. Remootio. This is a new thing I've not heard before. I think it's a new launch. It's the Remootio 3. So maybe it's just the first one that supports like HomeKit and stuff. But this is a controller for like garage and gates. $120. It's a little white box. Works over Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And it has, power jack, and then also the little plugs to like connect to your garage door opener. The little plugs that you would normally put into something like the Maris one, you would put into this little box. And now the Remootio gives you control, HomeKit control over your garage. They even have widgets for your gates or garage doors, so you can do a Remootio widget. Of course, being in HomeKit, you could just, use the HomeKit stuff too. Pretty compact. And, you get all the cool stuff from a HomeKit-enabled garage door or gate thing. And so there you go. And Remootio. Remootio.
I gotta say, Steven, I have not heard about this before.
No.
But their app design looks like it is like freshman intro to UI design. Like, they literally just took a background, added a slightly dark, like, opacity layer over top of it, and then just dropped all the buttons. It's kind of awful, to be honest. But
now, listen.
It looks bad.
You never need to interact with that app.
Look
you
at
just
that.
put it in
What is
HomeKit. You just put it in HomeKit, and you run it, like the Maris one. I never go to the Maris app. Just open your garage. Yeah, this app does. I don't know if this is the actual app. That's kind of funny, but and then like the logo. But anyway, we're not here to make fun of Remootio. Okay.
I'm not making fun of them. We're here to be critical and advise. Sure. And they're whipping out USB-A. They're having super remedial app design. That's not to say I'm not curious, especially the gate management I find really curious, because basically we have not seen a gate controller for HomeKit. So it's a bit lower on the page, but yeah, you can put just basically with solar panels, a little electro controller on your gate and unlock and lock that way. Like that's
what I'm saying.
Very intriguing right there.
Exactly. And you can have multiple Remootio devices. You just scroll between them in the designed app. I was going to say beautifully designed sarcastically, but I didn't do that. The app's customizable, Andrew. Look at this. You can change the background color. Get out of here.
Wow.
That's... Look at that. Look at that. But I don't know. I mean, it looks cool. I'm glad we have another option. Garage door openers are kind of slim pickings. Although my Maris one, I don't know, man. Of all my HomeKit devices, that thing has been the most solid. Never once have I had to reset that thing, which I'm glad, because it'd be a pain in the neck to climb up there and do it. But yeah, my Maris one has been solid. But look, I mean, nice to have another option. $120. And there you go. We'll put a link to Remootio. Remootio. There's two O's. That's why I keep saying that. It's Remootio. Remootio. Anyway. Speaking of... No, this is not a good transition, but I'm just going to say, well, let's thank our second and final sponsor, because I do want to talk a little bit about CarPlay too. But our sponsor, Kolide, they have big news. If you're an Okta user, you can get your entire fleet to 100% compliance. And I actually know what Okta is now, because a listener, I don't know if they're an Apple Insider or HomeKit Insider listener or both. Obviously, you should be both. But Solo Walker on Mastodon, and they actually said that Okta, I guess, is a identity platform used for like single sign-on. So companies would use Okta so they can create single sign-on accounts. So this way you work for a company, you use your same login for everything, like Google or Figma or whatever. So that's what Okta is. I know what Okta is now. It's like a single sign-on tool. So there you go. And listen, if your device isn't compliant, your users can't log into your cloud apps until they fix the problem. It's that simple. Okay, Kolide patches one of the major holes in zero trust architecture, which is device compliance. And without Kolide, IT struggles to solve basic problems like keeping everyone's OS and browser up to date. Unsecured devices just logging in willy-nilly to your company's apps because there's nothing there to stop them. Willy-nilly, I added that. That wasn't in the ad read. Anyway, Kolide is the only device trust solution that enforces compliance as part of authentication, and it works seamlessly, built to work seamlessly with Okta, that single sign-on tool. I know what that is now. The moment Kolide's agent detects a problem, it alerts the user and gives them instructions to fix it. And if they don't fix it within a set time, like Andrew's voice, they are blocked. Just like his voice will be blocked if he doesn't get that checked out. Kolide's method means fewer support tickets and less frustration, and most importantly, 100% fleet compliance. So visit kolide.com/HomeKit. This one's full HomeKit. To learn more and book a demo, that's KOLIDE.com/HomeKit. Our thanks to Kolide for sponsoring HomeKit Insider, sponsoring this episode. I wanted to mention, since we just talked about a garage door opener, I got a little device, a little screen that runs CarPlay. I got this thing called the CarPlay. And I talked about it on the Apple Insider show too, but I just wanted to mention it here because one of the cool features about having CarPlay in your car, which I didn't know was a thing, is you can, well, not that I didn't know it was a thing, but these aftermarket things I had not tried before. But you can, your garage, it just appears on the CarPlay device as you're pulling up to your house, and it's wonderful. I never got to experience that personally. I knew it existed. I know other people got to experience that, but now I get to experience it, Andrew, and I love it. It's wonderful. Very responsive, too. Very responsive.
It is. these things have popped up, not just from Car but there's 1,000 of these. You can look on Amazon and you're going to find a bunch of them. So the ones that I've tried, like the IntelliDash, which is like from Car and Driver, and they literally have like a 7 or a 9-inch touchscreen and wireless CarPlay and everything. They're pretty sweet. And you can even do like FM transmitting to move the audio to your car or plug it in through the auxiliary port. Lots of different options. Like, I love this for cars where you don't want to retrofit, right? You don't want to try to take out your single DIN or double DIN radio system in there and try to add CarPlay. No, get this, stick it on a pad, put it on your dash, you're good. And they're honestly all basically the same. Like, I've tried 5 or 6 of these at this point, and they all work pretty much identical. You like plug your phone in, and it like instantly connects. CarPlay is good to go, and plug into your car. It's done. It's so easy. They're sometimes they can be like janky, and you do like 2 screens going on, which can sometimes be weird, but it still is a really easy way to add CarPlay to your stuff. And since you mentioned CarPlay, I've been railing against GM for their.
Not going to do CarPlay.
I keep losing my mind on Twitter. I feel like because they keep trying to back up their statements, and I feel like they're just digging themselves a deeper hole. And in the end, maybe it doesn't make any difference to them, and maybe consumers won't care either. But last I saw, first off, it was one of the most highly requested features for new car buyers. CarPlay was specifically, and you have their whole reason is literally they want your data. And they want to sell you subscriptions to their own features that they're going to go in on. And they're just doing this all going to be over Bluetooth. That's going to get the same basic like notifications that you would for like a third-party smartwatch. Like the same nonsense, like a phone call and a calendar invite that comes through a Fitbit is going to come through your car radio. And they'll be able to polish it up. But yeah, they just want to sell your data, and it's ridiculous. It really makes me mad, and like that's where they want to go with it. And like Chevys are, incredibly popular. So I really hope that if they don't completely reevaluate, which I doubt they will, at least anytime soon, I hope it makes an impact, and I hope that no one else follows suit. But then recently in the news, like literally a day or two ago, Ford CEO sat down and said, "We are all in on CarPlay. We're sticking with CarPlay, Android Auto." He says 70% of Ford's customers are Apple users, so why would he just tell Apple users to get wrecked? Like,
right.
And I'm like, well, that's basically what GM was doing. So I'm glad that Ford is sticking with it.
And now that I've been using it, it's just like, it's so intuitive. Like CarPlay, it's literally an extension of the iPhone, which I really felt because at one point I was trying to take a video of the CarPlay device in my car while CarPlay was running, and all of a sudden CarPlay like screeches to a halt. It's just like so super laggy, but it's because your iPhone is basically wirelessly casting the display to whatever CarPlay device, and if you're trying to record 4K video while it's doing that, like your iPhone's not going to handle it. And it's also it's going to prioritize the video you're recording. So the video you record will be great. CarPlay just totally like screeches to a halt. So but it also makes sense. Like I also realized that I wanted to customize the order of apps on the CarPlay device, and I kept looking on the CarPlay device where to rearrange the apps, and then I like Googled it and realized no, you actually go to the settings on your iPhone, General, CarPlay. There you choose the CarPlay device that your phone connects to, and you rearrange the apps there on your iPhone. And like then, like the light bulb, I was like, light bulb. Like the light bulb went off, I was like, right, it's just the iPhone like casting a different version of a display to this thing. Like the actual display does nothing, which then makes me feel like CarPlay, it should be so easy to implement because it's not like the device is doing anything. It is only holding the protocol for your iPhone to cast a display to this screen. And it's like, it's kind of crazy. We've got a few minutes. Last thing, Andrew, do you want to tell me about this Sous Vide? Sous Vide. Just kidding.
Yeah, man, this is a whole thing that I am very excited about. But basically, for anyone who does like cooking and likes like smart cooking gadgets, Sous Vide has been one of my go-tos for almost 10 years now. And I use it a ton. And there's a lot of really good ones. The two biggest ones that are the nicest, Joule and Innova. So Innova is a standalone company, been innovating like crazy. There's like the Innova Nano, like a Pro one. They've got like baths that you can use that are like specially made for sous vide. That's got like the hole in the top for the sous vide thing to drop down that reduces your heat loss, which increases efficiency and power consumption, all that stuff. The other one is the Joule. The Joule is amazing. It was from a company called
Well,
no, it was before them. Chef Steps, I believe, was the company. They created the original Joule, and they basically kind of like transformed the market. They made like the original, I think, like consumer one, and theirs is so pretty. Like I did a review of that one, like when it first came out on my personal channel before I was even working like Apple Insider and stuff, and it's just so glorious. Like it's super super sleek, all white, looks like Johnny Ive product, like polished stainless steel on the top. Magnetic foot, so you can even just stick it into your pots and it'll hold its place on there. And it's amazing. So the original Joule came out, and then Breville bought them 4 or 5 years back maybe, and incorporated them into their portfolio, and they've been using a lot of the Joule technology in its other products. So they actually came out with a Joule oven, smart oven, air fryer type situation. Then they have now, that we're talking about today, the Joule Turbo. So this is the first modification of the original Joule hardware that I still use, that is still utterly fantastic, so just clean, simple, efficient, great app to go with it. The new Joule Turbo actually is able to, they're claiming, I haven't tested this yet, they claim it is the first one ever to make sous vide faster.
Sure, okay. All right.
So, obviously, we probably should have started with this if anyone who didn't know, who wasn't familiar with sous vide, but basically, you take your food, could be vegetables, could be meat, seal it into a bag. You can add seasonings, butter, oil, whatever, drop it into a water bath, and then this is essentially a water immersion circulator. So it's going to heat the water and rotate it in the tub, in the basin, in the pot, and it's going to heat your food to a perfect temperature, whatever you want it to be, and it can hold at that temperature for a good period of time. So, if you're doing something like meat is the obvious go-to here, something as super delicate as fish, you will never overcook or dry out chicken or turkey. And steaks, there's this photo that I always go to where you see a steak cooked on the grill where the outside is charred, but then so it's gray right on the edges where you have your crust, and then it slowly gets more pink towards the center. Obviously, the more gray it is, the more juice had been lost. So with this, you're able to make the entire steak, top to bottom, every single millimeter of it, to a perfect, 130, whatever you want, a good mid-rare, and it's all uniform temperature. Then you can take it out, turn your pan up all the way, sear it on both sides to get that glorious crust, and you're going to have the juiciest steak ever that's cooked perfectly. It's amazing. But now you're doing stuff with vegetables. I'll throw some potatoes in the freezer in a bag, just bring them out, throw them right into the sous vide, and I've got roasted potatoes out of the sous vide machine. There's a lot of stuff you can do. It's incredibly cool. But obviously, if you're taking something from the freezer, it can take a little bit of time. So this is revolutionary to be able to do whatever they're doing to speed up sous vide. Because it can take an hour and a half if you got a frozen steak, to cook. If it's an inch thick, frozen filet, take an hour to cook in there. They claim they can do it in half the time.
Wow.
True? I don't know. But I'm very curious and might be trying to get one of these. I might buy one. But we'll see, because the original one still works so well. But I'm pretty excited.
I've never tried sous vide personally, but this
game
looks
changer.
Pretty cool. This looks very cool. Listeners and viewers, let us know if you sous vide. Sous Vide. Let us know.
Sous vide or not sous vide?
Oh, you got it. That was the one. You can message Andrew and myself, Twitter or Mastodon. All that's in the show notes. Let us know what smart home projects you got going on. Thank you to listeners, sharing about Hue Sync Shortcuts and all that good stuff. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
Peace, everyone.